All right, checking out Yamaha Timpani cables throughout the years, we have this one right here is a 600 and 6000 series cable. And this is going to be a 6100 series cable. So you notice the attachment's a little bit different. This one's got something that screws into the base. This is actually a little derby cap here that actually attaches to the base of the timpani, and then there's a little C-clamp down there. This is very similar, and for that reason, the 6000, 600, and the 6100 cables are fairly compatible with the way the connection down at the bottom of the timpani. And of course, the connection at the top has been very similar throughout all the years. If you move on to the 6200 series looks very similar at the top, a little bit more robust timpani cable, tuning gauge assembly, and you'll notice that we have like this little billet. So this actually has a little derby hat here. On this one, we have a little bit taller kind of hat system that'll attach to the base of the system. This will actually go into the top of a piston that travels north and south, and then you can see here you've got something that screws into the top of the helmet as opposed to being used through the C-clamp. And if you go to the 6300 series, this is the current series, you can see this is a little bit different up here, but same type of concept. We're just using a wing nut instead of this jam nut here on the tuning gauge itself. And then we have a protective sleeve that was actually added to the 6200 later in its career. And if you buy a part for the 6200 series now, it does come with that protective sleeve. And what you'll see down here is a little bit different assembly down here. This is going to screw into the top here, and this is actually screwed into the base of the timpani, and this is going to be the kind of jam nut, if you will, to keep it in place, and that's the billet. Why is my timpani cable broken? Well, a lot of times what happens, sometimes when this pulls out of the sheathing like this, and then you actually press the pedal down, you're extending the cable too far. So what happens is this billet down here will sometimes break. Happens on a couple of these. And you notice we've actually increased the size and the strength of that billet over time, and adding these protective sleeves will actually allow you to also keep that in place. So as I kind of squish this up here, this will prevent the cable from actually pulling out of here like this. And if you see, the silver hanging out of here, you're in trouble. So make sure that that's in there and inserted. Another thing, if your timpani's making noise at the tuning gauge, typically it's just this nut assembly here. What you're going to want to do, this is how you raise and lower the height of the needle. If it's touching the bottom or if it's clanking up at the top, you can adjust it right here. And then you just want to make sure that this jam nut, or this wing nut in this case, or this here, is up against this and just not making any noise, and that'll prevent any noise from happening in the future. So a little rundown of the timpani cables.